Hi. We can all agree that the COVID-19 pandemic shocked all of us equally and, of course, affected us in so many different ways. Perhaps you could be having your unique survival story. Today, we bring you a film that was set around that time. This is the African Movie Review. I'm Emmanuel Mandebo, your host for today. Please keep watching.
Hurry up, we are late.
Just like any other family, we had our lives. No matter the little we had, we always had each other.
Fred!
Is something the matter?
COVID-19.
Facilities like schools, public and private transport have been banned for 14 days.
I will see you after 14 days.
My job is not even enough to take care of all of us.
And whoever moves tomorrow without a mask will be arrested.
What happened to you?
Sadly enough, I turned out positive, just like other workmates.
Which kind of a man can't look out for his family?
We are not your responsibility. You shouldn't blame yourself for anything.
I gave you posho last week. You want me to add you more?
We don't have. Our only problem is hunger. Do you know how many days we've starved? Jerry! Wake up!
Dear God, today you have provided, but how about tomorrow?
The Wave feature film was written, directed and produced by Kevin Jones Nabukenya, one of those really energetic young female filmmakers from Uganda and East Africa in general. The film featured actors like Kalule Brian, Marjorie Hills Basemera, and Namfuna Sharon, amongst others. In the film, Juliet, a mother of 4, has to struggle to take care of her kids after her husband is quarantined upon him testing positive for COVID-19. So, upon Juliet's husband being quarantined, of course, there are a number of lockdowns that are put all over the country, restricting movements here and there, which actually affects Juliet's business. You know, she was a vegetable vendor, and apparently the train that was supposed to deliver the vegetables to her were actually stopped from moving since they were passenger trains. So Juliet is left to take care of the family and also fill in her husband's shoes. The film portrayed the devastating effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on families, especially those from low-income backgrounds. We see the major victims being women and, of course, young children. The film had quite a relatable story. Of course, we all experienced the lockdown. And I have to warn you in advance that some of the scenes in the film could actually be what you exactly experienced. Looking at the script, of course, it was fair. The film started on a rather slow note, but it slowly progressed. The only challenge being that, you know, we all experienced the stuff that was portrayed in the film, like the lockdowns, some of the restrictions put in place. So somehow, as the film progressed, we could easily predict what was coming next, basing on our experience. Of course, there were some wowing moments. There was that bit of the lady who was previously desperate at the shop, trying to beg the shopkeeper to at least give her something to eat, but the shopkeeper insisted that she no longer had anything to give her since maybe she had already borrowed way too much. At the shop, it was Juliet who saved her. But later on, as the pandemic progressed, of course, there was the government food that was given out to people. Unfortunately, Juliet hadn't received hers, so she was completely down. When she went begging around, the lady she actually saved the other time at the shop was the one who was able to, you know, save her and handed her a bag of food stuff. Well, that was a relieving moment in the film. The cinematography was fairly good. I loved the look that they gave the movie. It was really consistent. That really dark and moody look ran from the beginning of the film to the end. It kind of reminded us of what exactly we really got ourselves into. The sound design was great, although there were just a few hiccups. For example, certain soundtracks were a bit off. They would feel more like it's a different story or it's a different movie, and they kind of lacked that authentic feel of, you know, that's a Ugandan story. There are some that appeared more like we're watching a sci-fi, but overall the sound was really great. I loved that soundtrack that actually closed the movie, the one with some lines of rap. It to anyone who speaks the local language would really feel that actually that soundtrack should have come earlier other than closing the movie. The acting was really great. I loved how Juliet, the lead actress's performance, solidified as the movie progressed. The child actors were really amazing. In fact, my neighbor wondered how much they were actually paid to be able to put up such an amazing performance. I would cast them anytime. Overall, The Wave was really a good story. Of course, the fact that we all had that experience of the pandemic, you know. However, there were a few shortfalls. The idea of inclusivity being put in the movie was not exploited enough. Of course, we had characters who had the condition of albinism. In the beginning, there was one who was bullied by, you know, those youths at the bar, of how he's the Muzungu, only Muzungu who sells vegetables in the whole world. But that was just at the beginning of the movie. So as a viewer, I was hoping to maybe see how it turns out now that we are getting into the COVID-19 pandemic. How differently did the pandemic affect persons of such kind of conditions? However, that wasn't exploited enough. I would say I was a bit disappointed by that fact, because almost everything that happened in the movie was more of what, you know, we all saw. But then when they introduced the characters with the conditions of albinism, I was hoping maybe we would see how the pandemic affected them in a very peculiar way, of which that never happened. Overall, I would give the movie a rating of 7/10. Kudos to the writer, director, and producer of the film, Kevin Jones Nabukenya. Quite a vibrant personality there. That has been it for today. Thank you for watching. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Vice Versa Global. And until next time, peace.